From Three Badge in Sonoma, California. You can tell we're in Sonoma. There's the town hall right there. Let's go say hi to August Sebastiani. August, good to see you, my friend. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm well. How are you?
I'm well because look, oh my word, I see tequila, I see mezcal, and I see 2 glasses, which means maybe one's for me, one's for you. August, let's begin with the name. Three Badge. What's behind the name Three Badge?
Right. So Three Badge is a nod to my grandfather, who was a volunteer firefighter here in Sonoma. And fast forward 70 years, we bought the old firehouse, and we are selling a number of craft spirits and a few small wine brands out of the old firehouse. And the connection to my grandfather's 3 service badges from when he was a volunteer: an active badge, a retired badge, and then an honorary badge that they gave to my grandmother when he passed away.
Serendipitous.
Very much so. It's really cool. It's kind of those 3 badges being the tangible intersection of like my family story in this community and this building's place in the community as well.
You know, August, when we think of the name Sebastiani, we immediately think of your family, a winemaking family, but spirits and importing goods from afar have been a part of your family story going back some generations, right?
Certainly, and in a number of different ways. We were doing, my great-grandfather and grandfather were doing ports and sherries and brandies and all sorts of different distillations and fun projects. Fast forward to my dad, who did grappa. He imported Armagnac. He did, at one point I think he was importing Chinese beer. So,
as you do,
exactly as one does. And so we actually have a very well-earned reputation for being in the wine space. We've had a lot of successes in wine, but my family's no stranger to the spirits world as well.
I see 3 gorgeous bottles here. Before we get into our cocktails, what do we have here?
So these are 3 of our brands. Pisote is our tequila brand. We offer a silver, we offer a reposado, an añejo, and then actually the top of the pyramid there is our extra añejo. And we're very proud of them. The quality is kind of paramount as we produce all of our products, but to find a Highlands tequila that is as unique and as expressive, light, delicate, a lot of fruit flavors, a lot of lime and citrus actually that comes out of it. And so we're really proud of our Pasote tequila.
And right next door here, this gets me excited.
Right.
I've been a Mezcal fan. For those who don't know the difference between Mezcal and tequila, what's the separation?
Right. They're very closely related. Both are agave distillate, but different classifications. Whereas tequila, it can only be produced with Blue Weber agave and can only be produced, or almost only, in Jalisco. There are a number of other exceptions, but they're few and far between. Whereas Mezcal can be produced in any one of 9 states in Mexico. Yeah. And you're also allowed to use any one of, I think, maybe 40 or 50 different varieties of agave. So the one we're looking at here is our Ensemble, our Bozal Ensemble. That is a blend of 3 different varieties. And what's fun for myself coming from the wine space is agave is very similar because in many respects you're allowed to sell variety, you're allowed to talk about terroir, and as you talk about a Russian River Chardonnay, we talk about a San Luis Potosi expression and how the elevation and the soils impact the growing season. Yeah. And it's in the process. It's just so much fun. It's so intimate, and it's a lot of work. We actually do a whole bunch of them. We have, I think, 17 different expressions of mezcal that we've made with our Bozal brand.
So we have a lot of drinking to do this afternoon.
We do.
Let's go to our third little friend right here. Right. And what's the story behind it?
So La Pivone Vermouth is sourced from the only vermouth winery in Madrid. Yeah. And so it's a Spanish import. The Spanish style of vermouth isn't all that different from vermouth that we know and love from mostly Italy, but all over Europe. What we love about the Spanish piece is culturally, they have what they call La Hora del Vermut, where it's basically cocktail hour before dinner. Everyone will come out and put a vermouth in a glass with the rocks and maybe a slight spritz to it, maybe an orange peel or something like that, and just drink it a la carte, which is very cool and very different from the American experience of Vermont.
But very civilized to have a drink before dinner.
Certainly.
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
And lower alc, right? It's more,
Yeah.
because it's a wine.
Yeah, of course.
And so it's easier to, kind of enjoy a cocktail without really getting after it before dinner.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm so excited, August, because we have not one, but two cocktails that you're going to make for us.
Correct.
Cocktail number one. What's the story here?
So the first we're going to make is our Pasote Margarita. And that is, it's a little bit of a play on a very straightforward cocktail that most everyone is familiar with. And we're going to start here, as I mentioned, with the Pisote Blanco.
Beautiful.
And we'll do, I'm doing about 4 ounces here because we're doing 2 of them.
And folks, if you want to jump in, thanks for checking in with us, everybody. Any questions for August? An opportunity to jump in, then toss your questions out there. We'll see what we can do. So here we go.
And then again, this is all batch, so I'll let you know about portions as well. This is an ounce of fresh agave nectar and 2 ounces of fresh lime juice. Just pop it in there. Give it a stir. Now, I know our friend James Bond would rather it be shaken.
That's right.
But I strongly prefer to stir my cocktail simply because when you shake it, you're breaking the ice and oftentimes watering down the cocktail. So stir is a much more delicate way of making the cocktail. Pour it through, obviously. We've got obviously some rim salt and Tahitian salt as well. Now, what I like to do, you might have caught in the camera, is a little bit of a jalapeno, because may I add a jalapeno for you?
Oh,
sir?
sure. I like a little kick. Yeah.
And if you really want some heat, go ahead and muddle it beforehand, maybe a couple slices like that, and you're off and running. So,
Look at that.
Cheers.
August, cheers to you.
Right.
Thank you so much. Here we go. Excuse me, everybody. So naughty of me, but if you don't mind.
Wednesday cocktail hour, right?
How annoying is that? Anyone watching at work right now?
Right.
Extraordinary times we're in.
Right.
I know we're going to get into our second cocktail here, but when the pandemic broke out, as a company, what was the first thing that you thought about in terms of how you'd pivot or shift or navigate your way through these months?
Right. The first thought of mine, as this all started to settle down, is, how does this impact specifically the health and well-being of our team? That is obviously paramount to anything we do. Is our team and our people. We've been doing this with a great staff for a long time, very capable sales team, marketing, obviously the whole thing, and so we just started doing a lot more Zooming.
Yeah.
We started as everyone did. I'm a father of 4, so my kids were doing plenty of Zooming as well. And so we started doing sales meetings. We had our marketing team start put together some creative Zoom backdrops and figure out ways to have fun with it and get creative. But some of what we were looking to do was just to kind of stop and listen, and see where trends were headed. And we found that obviously March was kind of a lost month. April, again, a nice little build in May. And we're very proud to tout that June was our largest domestic spirits shipment month in our history.
People are drinking.
People are drinking. And
Which I don't understand why people are drinking so much. Excuse me, sorry. Sorry.
And the challenge for us is with craft spirits is so much of our story and our pitch is mixologists and bartenders and the on-premise experience, which obviously dried up really quickly. And so we were looking for creative ways to help our retail partners and our on-premise partners to continue moving the football forward for their business.
Good.
And so we started batching cocktails. We started, we've been offering across the country like branded pouches. So a lot of communities and a lot of states are allowing cocktails to go.
Thank God.
Which has been really nice. But for our business at large, we've really refocused and rededicated our efforts to the retail channels and to the store level.
Well, listen, that was a killer cocktail. I just can't help myself. I really can't. Wow. So, August, cocktail number 2.
Cocktail number 2 is a little anticlimactic because it really will be much, much better in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But one of my quarantine hobbies, pardon my reach, as I get what I need.
Sorry.
One of my quarantine hobbies has been batching barrel-aged cocktails. And so we actually produce these barrels, as I now put the bottles in the way of the barrel that you can't see. We produce these barrels in 2-liter sizes and in 5-liter sizes. We've been offering them to restaurateurs and bars who are interested in participating. And we've got a few here at the firehouse, and we just kind of have some fun filling them up.
I just want to give that barrel a little hug.
Right.
It looks like
adorable.
it is so cute, August. It really is.
And so what we do here is you obviously have to pour it slow because it's not, and it's open, and close it. That would have been a disaster. And so what's fun about the barrel is it adds a whole different component to the cocktail.
I'm going to come right round there and get a little
Please
closer
do.
to you, just because. Why not?
Do.
And how much do the barrels go for? Curious to know.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
And we don't sell them. We actually just kind of offer them to our production partners, our retail partners, and our restaurateur partners.
They're so awesome.
But you can find them online. They're available.
Very cool.
So what we like to do is you end up doing the tradition. So this cocktail, to answer the question, this is a Bozal Mezcal Negroni.
Bozal Mezcal Negroni.
Right.
Yeah.
And the way that I like to do our Negroni, because obviously I'm partial to our spirits brands, is I like to actually, instead of the traditional recipe, which is 1/3 Campari, 1/3 La Pivone Vermouth, Rojo, and 1/3 Bozal, I like to actually do 1 to a half and a half.
Interesting. Okay.
And it really just makes the smokiness from the mezcal really pronounced.
Yeah.
That paired with the oak char and the oak flavor that's a part of the barrel aging regimen adds an interesting characteristic as well. And so we just kind of go through, and I like to, just to kind of make it a little bit more of a blend. I don't like to pour one at a time. We just kind of pour bits and pieces of each.
I'm all about the bits and pieces, August.
And the challenge that we have here too is just waiting, right? So we put it in the barrel, and we'll get a taste here shortly.
Well, I've got to be nowhere until December 1st.
Perfect.
So I've got plenty of time. You've got nothing on your schedule, do you? You're just hanging out with
Exactly right.
boozing.
And so, once we get all these components in here, we will shelve it for, kind of depends, maybe 10 days, 2 weeks, something like that. With the newer barrels, I don't like to go too long because then it just becomes too overpowering.
That's a Liam dash right there. Yeah. And August, what an exciting time to be in the spirits industry, to be in this world. There's so many exciting things happening in terms of just the craftsmanship in gin, in whiskey, bourbon, in vodka. I mean, so much happening here in Northern California. So it's a good time. I mean, a good time and challenging time.
Forgot you got to take that off, otherwise it won't pour.
There we go.
So there you go.
Oh my gosh.
And now what's an interesting component too is we found that Spritzes have been quite the popular cocktail.
Yes.
This season from spring into summer. And when my wife and I will enjoy these, she will oftentimes top it off with a little soda water.
Oh, nice.
Or, a San Pellegrino or something along those lines. LaCroix, brand of the moment. And then a little orange.
A little zesty.
Orange zest.
Look at that.
And there you go.
My friend.
Cheers.
Cheers, and just let's taste and then we can talk. Oh my God, that is delicious.
So it adds an interesting component. Instead of like you get the gin, sometimes you get the bitterness from the Campari and the gin and the vermouth.
The smoky notes, I love that. And it cuts through, because I'm going to be honest with you, Campari, sometimes I can find just a little, too bitter.
Right.
And this smokiness just cuts right through that.
Very much so.
Absolutely love it.
And so we'll leave it here for, like I said, another maybe 10 days, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We'll do another Facebook Live and we'll, or Instagram TV, and we'll come back and show you what it looks like.
So friends, there we have it, the 2 cocktails. Of course, I've got a little bit left. Let's just show that off one more time. So just to remind our friends watching one more time, August, this one here was the...
This was the Mezcal Negroni.
Yep.
Two parts mezcal, 1 part La Pivone Rojo, 1 part Campari.
There And right next door here.
And right next to it is the Pasote Margarita, which is margarita, lime, agave nectar, with some salt around the rim, and jalapeno if you like spice.
Look at that. Well, I like my spice. I like my Negronis. Cheers to you, August.
Cheers again.
So we're going to share the recipes. And finally, if people just want to find your product, where can they go, August, for all the info?
So our website is 3badge.com, the number 3badge.com.
Yeah.
And we actually just launched an online portal, so you can buy our wines online.
Okay.
We can't sell spirits, we can't sell the high proof, but actually our vermouth, because it's a wine, Rocky Bone, is available at shop.3badge.com.
Okay.
And again, that's the number 3, BADGE.
And then lastly, if folks want to connect with you, I know that you've been doing different classes and lots of things online. Is there anything specific that